2023 question 7. Started the long questions, 50 marks each. We have a diagram showing a road AB. AC is horizontal, so we have a right angle triangle here. So the gradient of the road, so we're dealing with slope here, gradient BC, change in Y, over AC, change in X. The gradient is written as a percentage. It measures how steep a road is. In parts A 1 to 4, there are 4 different values for AB and AC, and 4 different gradients. Find the gradient of the road AB when BC is 24 and AC is 135. 24 over 135, they want it as a percent times 100 equals 17.7% to the nearest percent, 18%. Part 2, find AC when BC is 16. So we have an unknown here. BC is 16. Find AC, we'll call it X, equals, everything's coming from this fraction, and that's going to be equal to 12%. So this will be equal to 0.12. So X and 0.12 swap places. 16 over 0.12 is equal to X. That's giving me 133.33, and it's in meters. Correct to the nearest meter, 133 meters for part 2. Part 3, we're asked to use the theorem of Pythagoras to find AC when BC is 27 and AB is 105. So let's just jot down the triangle. ABC. We have AB being the road, C being here. AB is 105. AC is 27. No, BC is 27. We're asked to find AC, so we call this one X. If you know your theorem of Pythagoras, when we're looking for one of the straight sides, it's the diagonal squared minus the straight side squared, which gives the other straight side. That's giving me 101.469 to the nearest whole number, 101, and that will be in meters. Now we're asked to find the size of the angle BAC when the gradient is 9%. Give your answer to the nearest degree. So we draw our triangle again. We have A, B, and C. We want the angle BAC, so this angle here, we'll call it X. So what do we know? We know that the gradient is 9%, so the change in Y over the change in X is 0.09, which is equal to 9 over 100. So we could have a 9 and a 100. We could also have an 18 and a 200. It doesn't matter, the same ratio. So what do we know? We have opposite and the adjacent side here, so that's tan. So we can say the tan of the angle X is equal to O over A. So the inverse tan, calculator use, of X is equal to, the inverse tan of 9 over 100, or 0.09. So the angle is 5.14 degrees. We've called it X to the nearest degree, 5 degrees. Part B, Olga wants to measure the distance between 2 points R and O. Let's call this X. So we have 2 angles here. So you're thinking at this point cosine rule or sine rule. So to use the sine rule, we have to have the angle and the side opposite. To use the cosine rule, we're using the two sides and the angle in between. So it doesn't look like the cosine rule. It looks like the sine rule. We have 20, so we just need the angle opposite in here, which is 180 minus 88 minus 87. So that's 160 and 15, 175. So 5 degrees for the tiny angle at the top in here. So the sine rule from the formula booklet, trigonometry of the triangle. We have our right angle triangle and we have our non-right angle triangle, and this is my sine rule. it gives all three parts. So it's the side C or A over the sine of the angle opposite. So let's apply this knowledge here. So the side over the sine of the angle opposite, the sine of 5 degrees, equals the side, we're looking for x, over the sine of 87. And we just cross multiply here, 20 sine 87, we don't need to simplify until the end, over 20 sine, that will be equal to x sine 5. But what we're going to do is we're going to divide by sine 5 in one step and say that x is equal to 229.159 to the nearest meter, 229 meters. And in part C, Olga has already worked out the distances between 3 points. Here we have them here, 700, 800 and 550. Work out the size of the angle x. Add x. Here we go, add x. This angle here. Well, let's call it x. So this is, like I said before, it's the two sides and the angle in between. So this is the cosine rule. And the cosine rule from above, if we look at the triangle a squared on its own, and the angle A opposite. So might be good math in the exam. Write the formula out in full. A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. And the B and C are the two sides that connect the angle. And A, as we said, is the one opposite. So we have 550 squared is equal to 700 squared plus 800 squared minus twice 700 by 800 by the cos of A. So we could simplify it down, maybe multiplying it out, or we can just leave it like this. I'll get cos A in its own on that. If we leave the right hand side alone, we have 700 squared plus 800 squared, and bring across 550 squared. On the left hand side is going to be this expression, so we need to divide by twice 700 by 800, and that would leave the cos of A on its own over here. So the inverse cos of this whole expression will give the size of the angle. So the inverse cos of that whole expression, which simplifies down to 331 when I type it into a calculator, over 448. So the inverse cos of this simpler fraction is 42.4 degrees to 1 decimal place.